everybody. A very good evening. 8:28 by the watch. This is me, Jasleen Kapani. I'm the founder and CEO of I'm Decor Design. We're in the business of designing and manufacturing home and office decor and interior solutions. Pretty cold today in Delhi, NCR, and looking at the weather and everything. I'm doing a thought share and I'm sharing my thoughts on personal and professional life in the time of this weather. And it's also about tidying time and stuff. The last few days, I've been sharing my thoughts and posts and expertise on the cleanliness and stress and calmness and clarity around personal and working spaces and stuff like that. Most of it is researched, and if you were to kind of get into it a little more seriously, you will understand that actually tidying up makes a lot of sense, and it really helps you kind of do away with the irrelevant and make space for a lot new. So, first of all, thank you so much for being so patient with me, and thank you for understanding my time off from the net and everything. And for those all those who've been in touch with me on social media by emailing me and WhatsApping me, and we've been talking on the phone and all that. Thank you so much for your patience. And of course, 3 days back, I've been given this green chit around my tooth. So I'm able to talk more prior to that. Off and on, sometimes have this neck cervical thingy happening. So on certain days, I wake up not that comfortable and great. But on the whole, as you can see, I feel good. I feel great. I'm rocking it. I'm kicking it. Stuff is behind my back and stuff. And I'm working, to get back on track on the missed out time and stuff. So my realization during the last 10 days has been on tidying. Tidying up doesn't just necessarily just doesn't mean tidying up your brain, tidying up your mind, tidying up the social media world, tidying up the phone, emails and stuff like that. It also means kind of tidying up yourself from the kind of activities that you do over the week or over the days or in your daily routine, in your relationships and stuff. So our life is not just about work, right? I mean, we are supposed to be maintaining a balance and we are supposed to also enjoy it. At times, we're not even working. Sometimes we are unwell. Sometimes we are unemployed. Sometimes we are like, taking care of the house or stuff, or sometimes we are genuinely kind of taken in by a lot of stuff and all that, and we miss out on the good fun and the great fun of the days and time. And we have to agree and believe that everybody is working, most of the people are busy. So it's important to kind of tidy up your time from time to time. Why am I saying it? Let me read it out to you. So this is an example of a lady I know, and she's basically someone who would wake up at 6 in the morning over the years, and she shared here. I've written it down because we had a chat on this and stuff, and this is about she sharing her routine and her home scenario and stuff. She says, I would start my day at 6 o'clock and end around midnight in the kitchen, eating her only meal at the end of the day was a bowl of cereal. And she says I used to be really working hard and spending time in my job, which was kind of unbearable. On paper, everything seemed good and amazing and everything. And she was heading a large non-profit organization, blending her passion for helping others with her entrepreneur spirit and stuff. So there's really what was the problem, I mean, most of us who are in entrepreneurs, design or doing our own stuff, running brands and stuff, we have to agree with this that we don't have the same schedules as everybody else. So what really happened here was that she says my calendar was a mess, and I started filling up my schedules with meeting people and overloading myself with work, and I started feeling unappreciated because she realized that she had filled up her calendar with volunteer work and studying for another degree and stuff. And she said the degree would make me feel smarter, more intelligent, more productive, but it didn't. It actually worked the other way around. It got her exhausted. Okay. So she says, despite the packed schedule, if anyone asked me for some time, I was never available. Whenever they would call up, I would be invariably busy. I would have to say no to most of the situations and invites and stuff like that. And she says, with little time for family and friends, my personal life suffered. I wasn't taking care of my health. I stopped dating. I stopped eating out. I had no way to organize myself. And my first step was to understand that was that I'm slowly killing my spirit and myself. And in order to kind of find her work life balance and stuff, she had to learn to say no. So, what is this all about? So, many of us will relate with this and understand this, that, some of us have little time, or we can't make time, or we are not, I mean, we've not practiced this thing about making time for our family, for personal life, for personal situations and stuff like that. And we don't take care of our health. And as a result of that, we are thrown off balance. We have stagnation coming in. We have burnout happening. We have health concerns and everything happening. So the point is, what do you do? So she says that, you know what? I mean, I started to kind of understanding what was getting me down. And she says, I started focusing on activities which were giving me joy. So she says that, I realized that much of my crazy scheduling was because I was adding things to my daily life and to my calendars to make me happy. But actually, these were the things which were not making me happy. And I was doing it because I didn't want to be in stuff which didn't make me happy. So I'll give you an example here. I mean, I know a lady and I know a couple. I'm not in touch with them anymore, but we got very active to party and go out and stuff like that. We just reconnected as childhood friends, and we would hang around almost every 10 days, 15 days, and stuff like that. It felt so good, exploring different places, going out, splurging money, enjoying, and stuff like that. And then gradually I realized that the point was that this was not about enjoyment, and this was not about fun and happiness. This was actually an escape route for some of the members of the family to unwind and chill, to kind of be away from their home situation because they were not in a happy space or in a happy relationship and stuff like that. The marriage automatically went on the rocks and stuff like that, and I had to kind of you know pull myself back and stuff and not be in that circle. I'm still not in touch with them and stuff because I started realizing that the negativity was affecting me and bothering me, and I would question the relationships and stuff. And I see that with someone else also I've connected with yesterday. So my ultimate reality check on this is that you have to kind of be in situations or in healthy environments where you're going to be yourself. Yesterday I was catching up with a professional acquaintance and a friend of mine. I think we'd met up after like maybe 3 years or something. We picked it up from where it was. We both used to work somewhere, and he was also an entrepreneur, and I'd also started something of my own. We used to work on a project with the media and other international diasporas works and stuff. So he had some very good memories of me, and so did I. And as we connected, we both realized that, what I mean, life changes, and what we were doing 10 years back is not what we are doing now. And our outlook towards personal and professional life has changed big time. So he's on a spot where he's actually kind of contemplating and evaluating opportunities and what should be the route forward. So I mean, so so I was kind of helping him out and stuff. I mean, I kind of felt good and great, and I'm sure the talking with me helped, and vice versa. But the point is that as you kind of try and understand what is not boosting joy in your relationships and in your life, that's what needs to go. Something which is sucking your energy, something which is a repetitive crappy nonsensical relationship, you have to go away from it. If it is an environment which is making you question your own values and your own outlook or your own conscience, if you're not okay with it, step out of it, because all of that can have effects later on. And the example is this gentleman. I think he was working for a brand, and he started questioning himself on the kind of work he was doing. And I'm so glad, and I really wanted to kind of give him a bravo and a thumbs up, because I realized that the whole fact of questioning your existence in a setup where you're supposed to do stuff which your conscience is not allowing you to do, once you recognize that and you put an end to that and you take the next step, is definitely commendable. Okay. So this is what the lady did. She says, I started learning to say no. I started kind of getting active in my personal life. I started kind of accepting invitations to lunches and dinners, dance parties, frequent workouts, hanging out with friends on the weekend. finding my joys, my hobbies, and stuff. And I left my emails and my presentations and my work responsibilities only to a few hours in the office and stuff. So this is what most of us must learn and need to learn. I mean, last 10 days have been quite a reality check for me. What matters to me? Who matters to me? And what is it that the social media world is offering to me? Do I really exist? Do I really matter if I'm not there online and stuff? All those questions come to you. Who gets in touch with you? Who doesn't get in touch with you? What are your priorities? What is it that you enjoy doing? And to be honest, I think I spent more than out of 10 days, maybe 5 days, cleaning up and tidying up. So whatever thought share I was doing online, that was also something which I was applying and I was revisiting. So when you're not on social media, it doesn't mean that your life is ending. It's also giving you a respite to kind of get in touch with your intellectual side, your creative side. And of course, there are certain days when you wake up without social media and you're like, hey, I'm disconnected from the world. I don't even know what's going on in somebody else's life. But then the saving grace is that uh, you don't become a follower, or you don't become someone who's kind of involved in somebody else's life. You're focused on your own life. So I think this was something which I really enjoyed having a chat with this lady, because she says experiencing simple pleasures like making dinner and having a whiskey, having a wine, having a coffee, just going for a run, catching up with some friends, spending some time in nature, watching a movie alone, reading some books, and hanging around with people I didn't